fixed exchange rate.
The truth is always
don't misinform people.
The truth is always bitter.
You cannot maintain it.
The truth is always bitter, and that's why they bicker. You get that point.
Rufai,
the truth is always bitter.
You know, my people are always salute. How now? The happy weekend. This weekend go favor you, go favor me, go favor our family, and the new week go favor us too. When I don't see that short clip, I say I can't drop the rest video for now. But before then, make I just talk something. What I don't understand now? Why Rotuscl go come accuse in colleague, professional colleague for that matter, on a national TV? They say they misinform people and is a liar. That is what I don't support. That is what I'm against. Because everywhere they bust yesterday, say Rotuscl and Rufai, for Arise TV, they clash, they nearly turn TV upside down, blah, blah, blah. These are over 5 billion naira palliatives for each state. Guys, when I watch the video, the full video, they will come back.
Ayo, I have to ask you a question. Where do you want the money to come from? How long do you want this program to be extended? Ayo, let's say we extend it for 10 months. If you extend this program for 10 months and do it on a monthly basis from the federal government to each of the states, you get 1.8 trillion naira. That 1.8 trillion naira almost swallows up the 1.9 trillion that the FAC allocation, which is the highest it's ever gotten in history, was distributed to the states. Now remember, it was only 900 billion. They kept 1 trillion to themselves. Now, Ayo has criticized the movement in the dollar. So has Rufai. So I'm sure Mr. K has too. So has a lot of people. But the same devaluation in the dollar that everybody was shouting about, that took the dollar from 430 or 460 to 750, is what gave the federal government even more money to share to the states, in fact. So look, for the populists out there, for the neo-welfarists, for the socialists, you have to pick a struggle. You can't criticize devaluation of the dollar and then say that the amount of money that the federal government is distributing is not enough. Where do you want the money to come from? Oh, by the way, the federal government has reintroduced subsidies. And so the subsidies now is going to put more pressure on the fiscal structure of the government. Pick a struggle. Earlier, Rufai was talking about agriculture and the rice. Rufai said increase price hectare per yield, increase the seedlings, increase this, increase that. Where is the money going to come from? Pick a struggle. The federal government fiscally is encumbered. And so the reforms to remove subsidies, to devalue, are supposed to have benefits for the long-term outlook of the country. So you have to pick a struggle. Look, the 5 billion that is being distributed now, 14,000, let's go back to that graphic, 14,000 naira per household. How long is that going to last? How long? I've talked about population in this country. I've talked about the birth per capita in Nigeria. How it's one of the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. We have a increasing population, putting more pressure on the welfare, on the fiscal structures of the state. The state doesn't have enough money. 96% revenue, or 96% debt service to revenue ratio. Rising 23 trillion naira ways and means, 47 trillion naira total public debt. Where is the money going to come from for these palliatives and everything else everybody's asking for? I throw that question to the audience. And then,
okay, so a quick reaction will be, I don't like getting hoodwinked by the dangers of the single story neoclassical economists will always make. Take, for instance, this clip we watch. It's a danger of a single story. Because the other part of the story they won't tell you is the fact that if there's actually supply and enough supply that goes to the bank, the same person too can go to the bank and get the forex at a good rate, like people used to get BTA. All right? But the reason why speculators are going at it is because this same CBN decided to go on a float that we told them they didn't have the capacity to do, and they went ahead to do it, and that's why they're going to scamper for money now to be able to defend.
Do they have the capacity for a fixed rate?
Moving on.
Now, I see he can't answer that. There we go again.
No, if you want to, if you have to,
do they have capacity for a fixed rate?
Rotuscl, if you want to have a conversation with me,
go ahead.
We will have a pure debate. Yes, they also have the capacity for a fixed rate. That is a lie. You
do not understand how this works. The reason, why do you think a devaluation
Let me speak. Rotuscl, you can see Rotuscl at it again.
You cannot maintain a fixed exchange rate.
The truth is always
don't misinform people.
The truth is always bitter.
You cannot maintain it.
The truth is always bitter, and that's why they bicker. You get that point.
Rufai,
the truth is always bitter, that's why they bicker. Okay. Moving on, let me go on the other points. As regards the other points, it's also the danger of a single story. You keep saying things like, oh, the currency, yes, they saved, when they devalued and all of that. Ask me, what's the quality of 1 trillion naira now compared to the quality of 1 trillion naira then?
What's the point?
The value is baseless. The naira has taken a plunge and devaluated, and you are saying the naira will still have the same effect on the economy. So these are the arguments the neoclassical economists make that is not always circumspect. That's just the problem I have with them.
Me personally, my own opinion is Rotus was trying to use Rufai Hussaini to gain popularity. You know, my own observation, Hussaini is the face of Arise. I always like watch Arise because of her most of the time. You understand? But he picked the wrong person. So I think it was a deliberate act, but he picked the wrong person. In a nutshell, I like the conversation, but I would say he's not an healthy one, in the sense that, you know, Rotus calling his professional colleague on a national TV, live national TV, trying to misinform the public, and also a liar, is the aspect that I didn't like in that conversation. Don't get it wrong. I liked everything that took place there. This shows how Arise TV is an unscripted station, because most stations are waiting, they go on plan, then they'll come act movie for us, waiting they won't move here, then they'll come carry give us, you understand? And this, they happen for a lot of media, big media organization, where we say, you know, you don't always have to agree on a common issue. Everybody get their own views, their own ideology. The way I see things, you know, might be different from the way you see things. But the problem I had with this was that name calling, saying he's trying to misinform the public, and also saying he's a lie. Okay, Rotus, you're talking about pick a struggle. Are you telling me the valuation of the naira is good for Nigerian economy? You cannot. You're saying, okay, how will Nigerians survive? Where will they get money from? You don't forget, say we get resources. Just yesterday, Barrister Femi Falana came on Channels TV and told us how $9 billion every year is made from gold and taken away by a private jet out of Nigeria. Unaccountable for. No tax, no nothing. Who are the people behind this? Who get the private jets? That money, if we can save that money for the next 5 to 6 years, it go clear our debts, and we no need to go there borrow money. Don't forget, we have a lot of resources. Say where they're going to get the money from. They're going to get the money from bitumen from those states. Show already the other time he said, Igbo, you plant Igbo with the exporter. You know how much they make from this thing? That Igbo, then they use them for all these hair products. Then they use them treatment for hair. Then they recommend them for some people. Do you understand? And a whole lot. You know how many resources we get? Talk of coal. Talk of cashew. Then just focus on crude oil. Anyway, guys, may I just leave on now. I go come drop the other one where Femi Falana come talk how then they carry $9 billion worth of gold come up for Nigeria. Shishi, without entering into Nigeria pause. When I share the video, leave your comments. What do you think? I just feel Rotus was just trying to use Rufai to gain popularity. That's it. I'll see you now for my next update. Bye bye.